could you give me your favorite thing about America in your best American accent?
Oh my God. I'm so bad at accents. I think the people are really cool. They're just so nice and really non-judgmental.
There we go. Okay. G'day and welcome to the Big Down Under podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton and today I'm speaking to the most sexually active woman in Australia. Her name is Annie Knight. This is such an eye-opening, mind-blowing chat with a woman who's consistently going viral on social media. If you haven't seen or heard of her yet, you might have seen an article recently about how she slept with like 583 guys in a sitting just like a few days ago and was hospitalized after it, apparently. So I'm going to talk to her about that, asking why put yourself through this? She is like pretty big all over right now. All around the world, I actually am seeing more and more of Annie Knight because people like her, Bonnie Blue, Lily Phillips, they're doing the sort of sexually promiscuous sort of lane and doing it really effectively. Annie's famous now. She's earning so much money from all of these pursuits, and we get into that too. And so, yeah, I just want to pick her brains about why she chose to get into it. Now she's into it, is it worth it? She's newly engaged too. So she's got like a fiance who I want to know his feelings about this all as they approach marriage. It's a super interesting chat with a super interesting lady and a very lovely one as well. She's a very nice woman. This is Annie Knight. They say when you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. Would you say that's true for you?
Yeah, 100%. I absolutely love what I do. I've always said even if I won the lottery, I would still do what I do because I just love it. I'm passionate about it. I enjoy it.
Wow. If you literally won the lottery, you would still bang 583 guys in a day.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't want to and I didn't enjoy it.
So there's a part of you that's not just doing this for the money, even though it seems like there's a lot of money to be had.
Yeah, I mean, it's I could do it for free, or I could do it and then also earn hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars from it. So yeah, it's twice the benefits for me.
That is incredible. Could I ask you, give us a ballpark, what's your body count, do you think?
So the straight after I did the challenge, my body count was 2,061 and it's now about 2,063 because I'm on rest at the moment. I'm taking a break for a week and then I'll be back to it. I always like to say it's give or take maybe 50 people because here or there I might have forgotten to tally a few.
That's crazy. 50 here or there. I love that. Can you tell me just your beginnings? Can you tell me the moment you decided this is the sort of line of work you want to get into and sort of what brought you to that decision?
Yeah, so it was actually in COVID, which I feel like is a common story for OnlyFans creators. But it was lockdown. It was boring. I was earning about 60,000 Australian dollars a year. I really wanted to buy a house one day. And I was like, how am I going to do that with this money? So I started doing OnlyFans as a little side hustle just to earn a couple grand a month extra to save for a house. And then I did it for about 2 years low key until my workplace found out about it and I got fired for it. So I kind of took that as a sign, you know what, I'm going to try and do this thing full time. So I think that was early 2022 and I've been doing it full time ever since and it's just grown and grown and grown.
Have you always had a sort of an open perspective on sex? Some people are very closed off and some people only want to have sex with the person they get married to. But have you always just been sex is just another thing, not a big deal for everybody to stress about?
Yeah, I think it's funny because I went to a private all-girls Catholic school growing up. I went there for 13 years of my life. And I always remember thinking, oh my God, all these girls are so uptight. Like, why are they so judgmental? Why do they care about things so much? Why are they calling that girl a slut because she's had sex with one guy? Like, I always found it really odd.
Mm.
So I'd say I've always had a very open mind. I've always been like not very judgmental. And yeah, I think everyone should just do whatever makes them happy. If that's sex, then go have sex.
Yeah, I totally agree. What did your like friends and family obviously think when you told them about it, or maybe like they got sent something? Like, what was the reaction like from people you love?
My friends were really good. They kind of said, look, these are our concerns, but we support you regardless. My mum and dad both found out in really bad ways because I was procrastinating telling them. So my mum found out through a Channel 7 news article on Facebook.
Oh, no way.
And my dad found out because the Daily Mail rocked up at his door and asked him why his daughter's a slut.
Oh God, what a thing to find out that way. God, what was his like? What was him in that moment? What was he like? He must have been like, "What is going on?"
He was like, what is going on? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Fuck off. And then he gives me a call. It's like 6 a.m. And I had this sinking feeling like I knew what it was because this was the week I went viral. And
yeah, that could be it. That could be it.
And then, yeah, he was like, oh, what's this? What are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm doing this thing called OnlyFans. Like I'm an adult content creator. And then he goes, oh, well, is it true you're earning this amount of money per month? And I was like, yeah. He was like, fair enough. I'd probably do it too.
Oh, wow. That's it. So would you describe them as sort of like proud parents?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I always say I've got the best parents in the world because the thing that's most important to them is my happiness. They want to see me happy, me successful, me comfortable, and they can see that I have that life now. I'm happy, finally, I'm financially free, and they support that more than anything.
Do you like worry that anyone in your friends or families is consuming the content, or like, you never know who close to you has seen, or is that like just not even a worry? Don't even think about it.
I mean, I certainly don't think anyone in my family is consuming the content. Whether or not friends have, I mean, curiosity, it's like maybe they have, maybe they haven't. Some people might just want to see what I'm doing on there. I don't think it's really a big deal. I mean, I'm filming myself naked to post on the internet. So it is what it is. I just don't really think about it too much, to be honest.
Because you must sort of like walk through life and just like, you get an Uber, the Uber driver kind of like does a wry smile. You get a coffee, the barista sort of winks at you. Like everywhere you go, you must have these like fans. You know what I mean?
I will say it is quite funny. Like I kind of forget. So like I'll go about my life just living normally, whatever. And for example, I went to see my dentist and I saw him for about 6 months. And every time I came in, he'd give me this weird smile. And I was like, that's a bit strange. At the end of my treatment plan, he asked me for a photo. And I was like, so you've been a fan this whole time and you've been treating me?
Oh, that's almost like, he should have revealed it because he's up like in your mouth doing like, you should tell me. Creepy.
I know.
Have you had any creepy like fans who just like a bit too, us guys are creepy, in general, but have you had any, people take it a bit too far?
Honestly, no. Everyone always asks me that, but whenever I run into people in person, everyone's super respectful. That's why I find it funny that I get so much hate online because everyone I meet in person is so lovely and so respectful. And if anything, just a little bit curious, but non-judgmental. So it's been pretty good. Been pretty lucky.
That's great. That's great. Could you give me like a brief sort of CV of like what are some of the challenges? What are some of your greatest hits that people might know you from?
So I first went viral back in 2023, I think, because I had slept with 300 people in a year.
Okay.
And then the internet sort of put the challenge to me. It's like, okay, well, you did 300 people in 2023. What are you going to do next year? So I decided to do 600 people in a year. Right. And I ended up doing 654.
Nice.
And then my goal for this year was 1,000 people in total and 500 virgins. But now after my challenge, the 583 guy challenge, I've already reached my goal. So
amazing. I mean, it's probably helpful to have virgins in like the 583 because it's just quicker. You know what I mean? Like, let's get this moving.
Yeah, for sure.
That day, like when you did that challenge, which obviously has gone really viral. Like, can you tell me about some of the guys that in America, it's almost like it was like a Craigslist ad, right? It was just that they applied to some ad you had out, and your DMs or something like that, and all applicants welcome.
Yeah, pretty much. So I made a few TikToks and Instagram reels and stuff just saying like, I've got this event coming up. You can finally have your chance to rail me on this date. Everyone who applies gets invited. And it was just more to have a registration form so I knew what numbers to expect. And then I posted it to my story and I got about 2,000 registrations in total. And then, on the day, 583 guys showed up.
Interesting. Where was it?
It was in Gold Coast at a swingers club.
Oh, interesting. Now, like, so the 583 guys, do they just like form an orderly queue, or how does this work?
Yeah, so I actually sent out time slots to each group of guys. So I kind of did it in hour time slots. There was 6 hours in total. So 6 different groups got sent a different time slot just because I didn't want the police to get called or the venue to get shut down or anything. And it actually ended up working really well.
That's great. That's great. So, and how long did each guy like get? Was it just a quick one so you could get through everybody?
Yeah, unfortunately, obviously, because I was going for numbers, not everyone could get like a large amount of time.
Yeah.
So it sort of was between 30 seconds to a minute. Some guys managed to finish in that time though. So I was quite happy with that.
Sure. That's great. And I imagine like if I was in a room like with like, a bunch of naked guys, like about to, I probably couldn't, I probably had a bit of performance anxiety. Was that a factor?
It was. And the funny thing is, it wasn't funny on the day, but I hired someone called a fluffer, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically just someone to get the guys hard. So when they come to me, they're all ready to go. But she didn't show up on the day. So I ended up using my mouth and my hands way more than I was expecting.
Oh my God.
It was actually really, that was like the most tiring part of the day was that because a lot of the guys, there was like 20 guys in the room. They're standing around trying to get hard, but like they're surrounded by all these other guys and then they're watching these people in front of them have like live sex. It was very strange. I can understand why it was difficult for them.
Won't be hiring that fluffer again. Like you can't call in sick if you're a fluffer.
Well, absolutely not. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, how's this going to work? But thankfully we got through. Multitasking, good stuff. I saw there was a guy that wanted to be last. Yes.
Interesting.
Because most of the guys are like, oh, can I be first? I'm like, well, there's going to be, 600 guys. You can't all go first.
Right.
So when he asked to go last, I was like, why? Like, I'm just curious to know, like, what's the fetish? And he was like, I just like the idea of like knowing that other people's fluids are inside of you and getting to like almost marinate in them.
Oh, marinate. Oh, interesting. Wow. Was there any other, like, do you have any other anecdotes or can you tell me about any other guys that were there on the day? Like, you must have met a lot of interesting characters.
So many different guys. I had a guy there that had flown in from Melbourne. He landed at the airport, came straight to the event and then did his thing and went straight back to the airport to fly back to Melbourne. There was a guy that was sort of into feet, so he just was licking my toes and stuff. There were plenty of married men. There was a few virgins. One virgin in particular, he came and he told his mum he was going fishing. So he came, he did his thing, and then he hung around for about 3 hours to try and make it seem believable that he was actually out fishing.
Oh, no way.
That
is hilarious.
So there's a few funny guys. It was actually a really fun day.
And they wore ski masks sort of thing. Is it completely anonymous, the guys?
Yeah. So the ski masks were encouraged but optional. So a lot of guys actually didn't want to wear the ski masks. But it was more for their privacy, I suppose. Like even if they thought they didn't want to wear it, people are really hateful on the internet. And so I didn't want them copying hate and stuff like that. So and I thought the pink balaclavas were good because if everyone was wearing black balaclavas, it just seemed a bit aggressive.
No, they were cute. The pink balaclavas really worked. That could be your thing. Like it should be your thing from now. The guys always wearing the pink. That was really cute.
I think so. I agree. I like it.
Now, unfortunately, I saw that you were hospitalized afterwards. Can you tell me about that? That seems scary.
Yeah. So I have a condition called endometriosis, which is basically I get like really bad period pains and bleeding and stuff like that. And I've been having ongoing issues with it since the start of the year. But I'd been doing quite well the week of the challenge. And then I did the challenge and I felt fine. Everything was all good. And then about 2 days later, I started experiencing like quite heavy bleeding and I was in quite a bit of pain. And I usually wouldn't have thought twice about it because, you know, I'm used to that with my endometriosis. But because I'd done the challenge, I thought it was best to go to the hospital. And so when I arrived at the hospital, all the nurses and doctors knew who I was and knew about the challenge.
Wow.
And so they initially thought, okay, well, she's ruptured something. This is really serious. You know, we need to figure this out. So they ran a bunch of tests, did a bunch of scans, whatever, but very quickly realized that everything was, you know, all good down there, so to speak. A lot of people don't realize that putting on an event like this was actually super stressful because I had to organize like 12 members of staff, 583 guys, like the venue. There was just so much going on. I was so stressed in the lead up to it. And then I guess as soon as it was over, the adrenaline all wore off and I kind of just crashed. It was almost like burnout and just my body was just under so much stress. So the doctor said, take a week or two off, chill out, take a break, and you'll be good as new, you know, very soon.
Awesome. Are you worried when you do this? I know everyone's kind of like, you know, we're using protection, but like, do you worry about like an unwanted pregnancy or something like that? Like, surely people have unwanted pregnancies all the time and they're using protection. So I would have thought it would be a concern.
If I got pregnant, it would basically be Jesus Christ. It would be immaculate conception because I'm on 2 different forms of contraception and all the guys were wearing condoms. So
Gotcha. Can I ask about there's a lot of people think that the numbers are like fluffed up, so to speak. You know what I mean? But, you know, is there,
like it's not real.
What some people think that like that there was it really 583 or like is there a way that you can prove it to everybody so they can stop like speculating?
That's funny. I hadn't seen that, but yeah, I mean, they can watch the video. The thing is, this video is 6 hours long, so it's being edited. I'm releasing bits at a time to begin with, and then I'm going to release the full video once it's all been edited. So you can all go watch that and see for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. Like what you, Bonnie Blue, and Lily Phillips. It feels like you guys are kind of like the frontier of, you know, the sex creators. And you guys are all killing it. Why do you think now is the time that people like you three are doing so well? Why do you think right now is the time?
Well, I think it's very interesting because Lily, Bonnie, and I all have very similar brands. You know, we're very clean looking. We're like blonde, girl next door vibe. So people don't really expect us to be these massive whores. So it's almost like so shocking for people. And then also it's like a little bit of a kink, I think, for a lot of people. And I think that is honestly why we have been as successful as we have.
Yeah, because I see you three. I think I saw Bonnie first, but then you now are just like as viral as any of them. Is there a competitiveness between you three, or is it like a sisterhood?
No, I think Bonnie started her OnlyFans about 3 years after I did. And I remember when she first sort of came onto the scene, and we sort of became friends online pretty quickly. And since then, the way I've watched her grow and, you know, seen all her hard work pay off, I actually just admire her so much. And we've built quite a supportive friendship. And yeah, it's actually been very, very cool to watch her career blossom after all the hard work she's put in.
Yeah, no, totally. What else did I want to ask? I wanted to ask about Henry. You're of course engaged. When are you going to get married?
We are getting married in October next year.
Whereabouts? Do you know any of the sort of where you're doing it or throwing a big ceremony?
We've got the venue booked. It's going to be in Gold Coast. It's going to be like pretty intimate. I think it's like 80 people roughly.
Very nice. Are you a bit of a bridezilla, or is he a groomzilla, or how have you gone organizing it?
I wouldn't say I'm a bridezilla. I'm very organized though. So I've pretty much got the whole wedding planned and we're like 18 months out. So it'll be a great day. I can't wait.
Because it was kind of like a whirlwind engagement. I know you guys had been friends for a long time, but then weren't you dating for like a week before he popped the question?
Yeah. So we had tried dating like, I think it was like 5 years ago. Only kind of lasted about 3 months just because we were on different paths at the time and it just wasn't the right time for either of us. And then, yeah, recently, I don't know, we've been best friends for so long. And then recently we both sort of like came to the realization at the same time. We're like, hey, are you feeling this? Like, I feel like there's something here. And then we're like, oh, no, we're not ready to date yet because, I've got my career and he had his career that he was, going after. So we weren't going to actually start dating for a while. And then when we were overseas for my work trip, he realized that he was deeply in love with me. Who can blame him? And then, asked me to be his girlfriend. And then a week later, popped the question.
Amazing. What does he think about like your career and everything? Obviously, like, I mean, do you get home from work and he's like, how was it? And you said, oh, well, I was just, or do you guys try to keep your personal and professional sort of a little bit separate?
No, yeah, he's super supportive. I think like, I don't go into like graphic detail about what happened at work, but I'll give him like the vague version of it. We have a very open like communication in our relationship. So I feel like that's really important. So if I am going to, go rail 7 guys, I tell him that. And then when I get home, he asks, how was it? I give him the vague version. He goes, okay, cool. Let's make some dinner.
Right. But then I would imagine it might impact your own like intimacy as a couple because you don't want to bring your work home with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's very different. Like when I film for work, I know what people want to consume. And so I know, what I need to do in that video. And you're constantly thinking about the camera angle. And it actually is quite stop-start with a lot of scenes that we film as creators. So when I'm, having sex in my personal life, it's very different. It's more intimate. There's no one there watching. Like, I just feel like it's so different.
Right. And he doesn't care that you like go and sleep with other people. Obviously he gets like, this is just a job. And he can can compartmentalize those things.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's like one of the things I love about him is I know a lot of people struggle with that and they often tell us like I could never do it. But he knows me so well and he understands the industry so well that he can compartmentalize and he can separate it.
Right. Well, that's great. Is it a struggle ever for you in your relationship? Do you ever go like, if I was doing something else, then like I was actually reading about you that you could have been a doctor. You're on your way to being a doctor. Do you think about like the sliding doors about like maybe what your relationship or life would be like if you had a different career?
I always think about it and I always think I'd just be so depressed. Like I was depressed in my life before doing what I do now. There's nothing else I would want to do other than what I do now. It doesn't negatively affect my relationship. It doesn't negatively affect me. All it's done is make me a happier, better person.
That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, good. That could be an inspirational speech right there. But you're 100% right. You're 100% right. Could I ask how much money you've earned from all of this? Is there sort of like you're buying houses, you're making investments? How lucrative has this been?
Well, since my start of my OnlyFans career, I've made $6 million. So
wow,
it's been pretty good. Yeah.
That's over the course of what, 5 years or so?
Yeah, 5 years.
And I would have thought that your income potential is trending upwards in a big way right now. Like you've never been hotter than right now. Are you like excited about like the opportunities and other ways you're going to try to earn money?
Yeah, I've always really wanted to get into mainstream porn. So I'm really hoping that this media coverage that I've received is enough to get sort of some opportunities from some of the big porn, industry people.
Right.
I'm heading overseas sometime in a couple months. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
That's amazing. All right. Seeing as you were over in America recently as well, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's amazing. I asked this to everyone on the show. Could you give me your favorite thing about America in your best American accent?
Oh my God. I'm so bad at accents. I think the people are really cool. They're just so nice and really non-judgmental.
There we go. Okay. That's good. That's good, Annie. Not bad. Not bad. I like it. Okay. Here's a big finish. We've got a few questions to end us out. I was just reading Conor McGregor. He's interested in buying OnlyFans. What the? Have you heard of that?
Wait, no?
Yeah. Conor McGregor's thinking about buying OnlyFans, apparently.
Well, that's cool, I guess. As long as he doesn't do anything crazy with it and keeps it how it is.
Yeah, true. All right, you haven't heard of that story, so we'll move on to the next one. What is your most aspirational career goal? What would you, if you could, like, just dreaming about it, what would you want to achieve more than anything?
Oh my God. You know what I would love?
What?
I would love to have my own TV show.
Okay.
That'd be so cool.
A reality show
Yes.
following you. Oh, there should be a reality show following you. Like, everyone's interested in the behind the scenes of this. This is why I'm interviewing you right now to learn about it.
And also, like, my mum being super supportive, like, it could be like a show with both of us on there. That's a really good idea.
I like that. Would you ever move to America for something like this?
Yeah, as long as I could get a working visa.
True. It's probably a bit challenging right now. It's hard to get visas right now. But you'd consider moving to America maybe?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I'd love that.
Is there any new frontiers you want to cross? Like, you know, you did the that many guys in a day. Is there any like big sort of challenges you really want to wrap your head around?
It'd be really cool to get like a large amount of virgins in a day because it's really hard to get them. But to get like, say, like even just 100 in a day, that would be really cool.
Do you get them to prove that they're virgins somehow? How do you do that?
It's pretty obvious.
It's obvious. It's obvious. Okay, good. Any advice for an OnlyFans creator just starting out, trying to get their footing?
Treat it as a business. You got to market yourself. You can't just create an account and the money flows in. You really have to work at your marketing. What's your brand? Find your niche and just promote yourself online as best you can.
That's good, actually. That's good advice. Because you actually have a marketing background, don't you?
Yes, I do. I did marketing at university and then I worked in marketing for 4 years.
Because I feel like, you know, your work obviously speaks for itself, but it's the way that you are marketing it on, like, you know, social media that's drawing eyes to the content at all. Like, you could have done this stuff and no one even watched them. But because of you and your personality and like talking about this stuff online every day, it's why people start clicking. So that, I mean, you're doing amazing. The Annie Knight brand is really killing it.
Thank you.
Is there something that you wouldn't do, like, you know, on camera, like even if you're getting paid money?
I'm not into the whole poo thing. No shitting. Sorry.
Okay. Neither. Final question. What sort of tax deductions do you get in this line of work? Like, I would have thought you could write off so much stuff.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. I've spoken to my accountant about this, but obviously, I mean, all my travel that I do for work is a tax deduction, but that's pretty normal. But like things like makeup, getting my hair done, certain clothing, lingerie, obviously sex toys, stuff like that, they're all tax deductions.
Annie, it was really nice talking to you. You're a very interesting person, and I think what you're doing is really amazing, and you're doing it so successfully. I think that we're going to see a lot more of you. So best of luck with all of that, and I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on.
No worries. Cheers, Annie. Big surprise on the Big Down Under podcast. We have a ring-in all the way from America.
From Los Angeles.
From Los Angeles, California. It's newsbreaker, love maker, Devin Ryle.
This is crazy to be here. I love what you did with the place. Is this a rugby ball,
This
by
is
the
the
way?
Aussie rules football.
And who normally sits here? Christina?
Christina, our other Australian here.
She's much better looking than me, but I'll have to do for today.
You're the first American on the show. So,
really? That's huge. It's groundbreaking.
It is.
Wow.
Congrats.
Thank you.
So usually Christina sort of like, you know, gives me the hot topics down under. In fact, it's called This Week Down Under, this segment. But because she's away, I have done the research and I'll pitch you a few stories.
From down under.
These are stories that happen down under. Now,
I think you're going to be able to handle this?
I'm not sure because I haven't done that much extensive research.
Well, that's on brand for
Just
you.
the basics.
That's pretty much on brand.
Get this, Devin.
All right.
A 21-year-old influencer, Minecraft influencer, get ready with me influencer, was just elected to the Australian Senate.
Really?
Yes, 21 years old.
Why do I feel like you're messing with me?
No.
Are these real news stories?
Yes.
That doesn't sound real.
Her name is Charlotte Walker. Here, I got it. Look, this is her TikTok. This is her just playing Minecraft. She just like
Dude, the Minecraft stuff is crazy to me.
she does streaming and like those doing all my makeup and talking about politics.
So has she wanted to get into politics for a while?
Well, not that long because she's only 21.
How did she's that popular down there?
Well, I mean, popular enough that, social media is now bleeding into like now social media stars are becoming, senators.
That's crazy. Are you going to get her on?
I think I should get her on.
That would be a good interview.
Thank you.
Well, congrats to her.
All right.
What are her politics? Are we getting into that?
Quite progressive, I believe.
Okay. I didn't know if you did the research. Interesting.
I can't answer anything else, but
wow. Okay.
About that. Okay, the next story I had for you, our mate Elon over here in America, he's thinking about opening a Tesla plant down under.
Really?
Australians not happy about it. Australians don't like Elon Musk. We don't like the guy.
Oh, really?
For obvious reasons.
I mean, he's a divisive guy here. I would say a lot of people do like him in America, though.
And he's got a bad rap in Australia, and so like the city that he wants to build his Tesla plant in, the town voted, 95% said no.
But so he's still going to go forward with it?
Probably.
I mean, at that point, that guy has so much money, he can do whatever the heck he wants.
I know. But, here we go.
They can vote it down and he'll just be like, it doesn't matter.
He'll just pay someone off and do it.
Exactly.
But yeah, Elon is trying to take over Australia one step at a time. We're trying to keep him out.
Oh, good luck.
Right. Next story of 4. Third story of 4. Did you hear about the woman? She was charged with killing or murdering or whatever her in-laws. She invited them around for a nice meal and she served them a dish with mushrooms and the mushrooms were poisonous.
So was this an accidental murdering?
That's what she's saying.
And you think differently?
Well, she's on trial right now.
In Australia?
Yeah, her name's Erin Patterson.
And so she's saying she didn't know they were poisonous.
She picked them. She picks them and she gets them from different, Asian grocery stores and stuff like that. She basically said, not my bad, even though my in-laws are dead.
What was her relationship with her in-laws before this?
Probably pretty fractured.
Well, who knows? I feel like that will tell a lot.
But she's on trial right now, so we will.
Is her husband still with her?
Haven't looked at.
And is he alive, or was he killed also?
I think the ex is still somehow got.
So he just passed on the mushroom dish.
Yeah, she wasn't hungry that day either. Apparently.
Yeah, that's convenient.
Man, I've left out a lot of details here.
That's actually a crazy story.
It's a crazy story.
That's exactly why Christina normally does this. Right?
Yes,
because she's actually probably
well. Usually she's here doing this, getting the story.
Where is she?
I think she's on holiday or something.
I love how you guys say holiday. It's called vacation, bro.
Hey, another thing I learned differently we do?
What?
This is a bit gross or something. We say pegging a tennis ball. When we throw a tennis ball at someone, we call it pegging a tennis ball.
Oh, pegging.
And here it's something quite different.
Yes.
Just thought I'd raise that.
Yeah, if you say you pegged someone,
it
would be taken much differently.
Final story of 4. A kangaroo tries to drown a man in Australian floodwaters. A kangaroo tried to hold a man's head under the water.
Is there video of it?
Not on this article I found, but there's witnesses. There's witnesses.
Is he on trial too?
Yeah, the kangaroo should be held accountable.
Yeah. The guy, you said tried, so he didn't kill.
No, it was attempted murder.
Attempted murder.
He got spooked apparently.
Are kangaroos that strong like that?
Very muscular beasts.
I mean, I've seen the really buff ones, but are they all buff like that?
Yeah, most of them. They're just built with muscle.
Do you think one could drown you?
Me? Yes. You probably aren't.
Okay.
All right, Devin. Well, this is fun. Maybe we'll try this again sometime. Have an American in. I'll teach you about our great country.
This actually was, honestly, all of the news stories were kind of interesting.
Yeah.
They were very interesting.
And I found them in the last 10, 15 minutes with my help of Chris over there.
Shout out, Chris.
On sound. Thank you, man. That was really fun.
Yeah, of course. Maybe I'll see you again.
Maybe. We'll catch everyone here this time next week. Goodbye.